Hey there. As you probably know, unless you've been living under a rock somewhere, live webinars are the hottest trend right now in internet marketing. It is by far the train that everybody is jumping on as of lately. Let me explain to you why that is. You see, there are a number of ways to promote and sell products online. You can either drive traffic directly to a sales page, hoping to dazzle them enough to place an order right away. But statistics say that the standard conversion rates are between 0.5% and 2%, depending on how compelling your offer is. That means that up to 98% of your traffic leaves your sales page without ever converting into a paying customer. Yuck. You can also drive traffic to a squeeze page, where your visitors join your mailing list, and from there, you send them a series of emails promoting your product. But guess what? Most of us receive so many emails nowadays that we don't even read them anymore. Chances are that our mailing list subscribers might not even be opening the emails at all. Double yuck. You can also conduct one of those super fancy product launches with flashy videos and cool gimmicks, trying to build anticipation towards the grand opening on launch day. But guess what? The market is fed up with product launches. They've seen them 100 times before, and they just don't fall for the hype and the marketing tricks anymore. Triple yuck. So what to do? Well, if you've been paying close attention to the online industry as of lately, you will notice that most of the world's top internet marketers are selling their products now via webinar presentations. Webinars are just great because they allow you to broadcast your marketing message directly to a live audience. And as a result, 2-digit sales conversion rates are not unheard of. Oh baby, yup. Webinars are blowing anything else out of the water when it comes to getting your prospects to swing their credit cards. However, there are 4 major problems with webinars. Firstly, since they're a live event, you need to be actually online to host the webinar, and that takes a lot of time and effort at your end. Moreover, there are tons of technical issues that can just go wrong. Poor connectivity, low sound volume, the screen freezing all the time, etc. Trust me, if you've never conducted a live webinar, you have no idea how many things can just go wrong once you're broadcasting live. Also, you've got to speak in front of a live audience. And that can get pretty scary because you have to perfectly craft your webinar script, the pace of your speech, etc. Oh God, imagine if your mind totally blocks out while you're broadcasting in front of hundreds of people. That would be embarrassing. And let's not forget that webinars can get expensive, easily going up to $500 per month if you plan on conducting multiple sessions and whatnot. Jeez. But fear not. Big problems require big solutions. And that's precisely what I've got for you today. Introducing Automated Webinar Generator. So what does it do? Well, in a nutshell, the script picks any video that you have previously recorded in advance and presents it to a live audience in such a way that it looks as if it were broadcast live in real time. Think about it for a second. You record your webinar presentation once, and then you schedule an unlimited number of webinars to play the same video over and over to new attendees. And it does it in such a way that it runs on autopilot, so you don't even need to be online at the time of the webinar at all, and no one will notice that they are in fact watching a pre-recorded video instead of a live broadcast. Alright, let's go step by step, shall we? Give me a few minutes, and I will show you how the whole thing works. First of all, like I said before, you've got to record your video in advance, and that video can be a standard PowerPoint presentation or a webcam clip or whatever you want. That part is entirely up to you. But the point is that you can do it and redo it until your video presentation is mint perfect. No audio glitches, no mistakes, no awkward silent moments, etc. In other words, you just get rid of all the risks involved in an actual live webinar. So, once you have that perfect video recorded, it's time to configure the automated webinar generator so it automates the whole process for you. Alright? Let me now show you the software's configuration dashboard so you have an idea of just how powerful it is. Scheduling your webinar. You can configure the webinar to play your video every day or on one specific date in the calendar or one specific day in the week or multiple plays through the week. Let's assume that I want my webinars to play every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Moreover, let's say that I want to run multiple sessions per day in order to cater to visitors from any time zone in the world. So, I will run 3 daily sessions, once at 9 a.m., then again at 3 p.m., and finally once more at 9 p.m. By the way, we can base those schedules around one specific time zone, such as, for example, New York time. Or, on the other hand, we can base it around your visitor's own time zone. That way, no matter where in the world the visitor is located, be it New York, London, Singapore, etc., the webinars will play exactly at 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and 9 p.m. their local time. On top of that, we can block out some specific dates in the calendar, such as, for example, the 4th of July, Christmas Day, or New Year's Eve. That way, the whole thing will look more realistic, because nobody would conduct a real live webinar on Christmas Day, right? Plus, let's say that for whatever reason, you don't want your visitors to register on short notice. You can block out the next X number of upcoming days. For example, let's imagine that we block out the next 2 days, all right? And then somebody lands on your webinar registration page on a Tuesday. Now, in theory, the first available webinar would be tomorrow, Wednesday, right? But since we've blocked the next 2 days, the registration page will display the first available seat for Saturday. So, as you can see, all these options allow you to pinpoint your webinar schedule exactly the way you want. The webinar registration page. The script has a super easy to use point-and-click template system for your webinar registration page. You can choose from different designs. This is the vertical. We have created a number of gorgeous built-in templates, so you can pick whichever you like the best with the click of the mouse. You can select the template and the color pattern. And let me show you some examples of what these built-in templates look like. They all look beautiful, don't they? On top of that, you can select a number of colors so you can totally customize the look and feel of your registration pages with the click of a mouse. Simply select whichever color fits your needs. Now, as far as the header goes, you can either type in a header line and a subheader line, which will be displayed at the top of your registration page, or alternatively, if you want to give it an extra touch of customization, you can embed your own logo. Looks cool, eh? For the rest of the registration page, all you would need to do is fill out these fields, such as typing in your desired header line, uploading any image or video you wish, typing in a few description lines, and that's pretty much it, really. But that's not all. If you want to create your own unique design from scratch, all you have to do is copy your HTML design and paste it into this box, and the webinar registration page will look just the way you want it. That's correct. If you want to keep things simple, simply use any of our gorgeous built-in template designs, and if you feel creative, simply toss in your own HTML design. As you can see, the level of customization and flexibility is amazing. We're also 100% compatible with Facebook, so you can advertise your webinar straight from your own Facebook page. That's correct. You can configure your webinar to be embedded straight into your Facebook account for anyone to register. Hey, Facebook is one of the most powerful sources of viral traffic on the internet, and our software will help you funnel that traffic straight to your webinars. Now, the split testing feature. You know what? Sometimes you don't know which design is best for your webinar registration page. In fact, sometimes you need to test different designs until you figure out which one scores a higher registration rate. Well, we've built in a split testing feature so that you can rotate multiple different designs and the script will rotate them evenly. For example, let's imagine I want to rotate 2 different designs, okay? Well, I would simply fill out the configuration fields for my webinar registration page number 1, and then I would do the same for my webinar registration page number 2. And then the real-time tracking analytics systems will tell me which of the 2 designs works best. And don't worry, I will tell you all about the built-in tracking system in a minute. The SMS Alerts feature. Oh, and guess what? You can also allow your visitors to be reminded via SMS a few minutes before the webinar kicks off. You know, just as a reminder that the event is about to get going and that they should log in right away. These SMS text messages can be sent worldwide, no matter where in the world your registrants are located, and that way no one will miss or forget about your webinars. And needless to say, you can enable or disable the SMS alert feature from the configuration dashboard. On top of that, you can enable the phone call alerts. It works pretty much like the SMS alert, but instead of a text message, your visitors will receive an actual phone call with whatever voice message you pre-record. Simply enter your pre-recorded MP3 audio file here, and the system will literally call your registrants on the phone a few minutes before the webinar's scheduled time and play that pre-recorded audio message through the phone line. Ah, technology. Such a beautiful thing, eh? The registration thank you page. So, what happens when your users register to your webinar? Well, they're redirected to the registration thank you page, which we've already created for you, so you don't have to design it at all. Yep, we've got you covered. This thank you page will play a built-in video explaining to your visitors how to proceed from here. It will instruct them at what time the webinar will take place. It will remind them to write down the actual webinar time and date, and it will remind them that they can synchronize their Google Calendar, their Outlook Express calendar, or Apple's iCalendar so they're reminded of the event. On top of that, they can promote your video via the social media sites such as Facebook and Twitter in order to get the word out for you. Like I said before, all this is already built in by default, so you don't have to do anything at all. Remember when I said this is a set and forget system? Well, it truly is. And here comes the best. We've built in a viral referrer script into this thank you page. This is how it works. Here you offer your visitors a cool hidden bonus, such as, for example, a video or a PDF report or whatever you want to offer them. The trick is that if they want to unlock that bonus, they must refer their friends back to your webinar, further boosting your viral traffic. So, in order to unlock that free bonus, they need to either send an email to their friends or post an entry on their Facebook page or tweet about your webinar via Twitter. And once they do that, the referring script will automatically display your bonus video or your bonus download link or whatever it is. Is there any better way to get traffic to your webinar than by letting your subscribers automatically promote it to their friends for you? Nope, no better way. But if for whatever reason you want to design your own thank you page, simply enter your own HTML design here at the dashboard, the countdown page. In the registration thank you page, your registrants will be given their own personal and unique link to the webinar live broadcast room. But what happens if they visit that link before the scheduled time? Well, here's what happens. A countdown will be displayed, ticking away as the scheduled time draws near. Moreover, they will be greeted with a video explaining that the webinar room is not yet active and they need to wait for the countdown to reach 0. And yes, you guessed it, this video is already built in, so you don't have to do a thing. But hey, if you want to display your own video, that's okay too. At the webinar configuration dashboard, you can replace the default video with your own. And by the way, you can host your own videos anywhere you wish, such as your own server, Amazon S3, or even YouTube. Simply copy the URL of the YouTube video and paste it here. Easy, huh? The email notification system. Let me rewind back to the webinar registration page. As you know by now, your visitors secure their seats to the webinar by selecting their desired date and time at the registration box. The box automatically displays the next 3 available dates as per your scheduled configuration. On top of that, they must enter their name and email address, and if you enabled the SMS Alert feature, they can also key in their cell phone in order to receive the text message reminder. Anyway, so what happens when a visitor enters his name and email address here? Well, 2 things happen. Firstly, they're signed up to your own mailing list. Yes, that means that the webinar script will also help you grow your own mailing list. All you have to do is copy the HTML code straight from your autoresponder company and paste it into the configuration dashboard. And the script is compatible with all the major autoresponder services, such as Aweber, iContact, GetResponse, Infusionsoft, One Shopping Cart, MailChimp, Vertical Response, etc. Secondly, the script will automatically register that user to the built-in notification system. This notification system sends email reminders before the webinar's scheduled time in order to make sure that your users don't forget about the event they signed up for. At the configuration dashboard, you can preset as many emails as you wish. For example, let's say you pre-configure 4 emails. The first one being a welcome email to be sent out immediately as they register to the webinar. Then another one to be sent out 24 hours before the webinar's scheduled time. And then another one 3 hours before the webinar's scheduled time. And finally, another email to be sent out 15 minutes before the webinar. Obviously, you need to write the subject line and message for each of the emails. For example, on the first email, meaning the welcome email, alright, you can say something like this: "Hey there, thanks for registering to the following webinar." And then you have webinar topic, webinar presenter, webinar date and time. Don't worry, 15 minutes before the webinar starts, you will receive another email with your unique link to the login page. So keep an eye on your emails. See you at the webinar. Okay, now see these command lines over here? These are shortcuts to dynamically insert the webinar scheduled date, time, the webinar presenter's name, the webinar topic, etc. You can simply copy these command lines from here and paste them anywhere within the email message, and the script will automatically recognize these command lines, and it will dynamically switch each of them with the appropriate info as per your configuration. For this second email, sent out 24 hours before the webinar scheduled time, you could write something like, "Hey there, just a quick message to remind you that tomorrow, blah blah blah, at exactly yada yada yada, you're invited to the webinar Joe so-and-so will be conducting on whatever your webinar is about. Don't miss it. It's going to be awesome." And in this last notification email sent 15 minutes prior to the webinar, it's always a good idea to include the link to the actual webinar broadcast room so your registrants can go ahead and log into the room. See how it works? Queuing up your own notification emails couldn't be any easier. And the webinar script will be sending them out automatically for you. You don't have to email anyone. You don't have to do a thing other than writing the email messages in advance. Like I said, this is a 100% set and forget script that runs it all on autopilot. But that's not all. The emails are also HTML enabled, so you can make them look pretty by inserting images, colorful fonts, or whatever you want. You can even enter your own HTML design here. Plus, as usual, we wanted to provide you with a gorgeous built-in HTML template so you can simply activate it into your email messages. You simply activate the HTML email template, then edit the message body, and this is what the email will look like in your subscribers' eyes. And fear not, all these fields, such as the webinar time and date, etc., will be dynamically and automatically adjusted for each of your subscribers. It looks awesome, doesn't it? And it's all built in for you to activate with the click of a mouse. And by the way, at the configuration dashboard, you can select to use only the built-in notification system, or to only sign up your visitors to your mailing list, or to do both, which is what we certainly recommend. The live webinar broadcast page. So, let's assume we finally reach the date and time scheduled for the webinar. So, your users receive that last notification email 15 minutes before the webinar kicks off, and they click on that link. As I said before, if they click too early, they will see the countdown page, and eventually, as the countdown ticks to 0, they will be redirected to the webinar live broadcast page. The video will automatically start streaming, and the whole event will get started. Now, there's plenty of stuff going on in this page, so let's go step by step, shall we? First, the video window. Here's where your pre-recorded video will play at the appointed dates and times. The video has no control bar, so it cannot be paused even if I click on it. It cannot be forwarded or rewinded or anything at all, so the webinar attendees cannot interact with the video at all, just like they wouldn't on a live webinar event. It will just play from the beginning to end without interruption. Now here's an important feature. If they arrive late to this webinar broadcast room, or even if they refresh their internet browser, the video will not start all over from the beginning. That would totally kill the live effect, right? So if they do arrive late, or if they do refresh their internet browser, the video will automatically jump ahead and start playing midway through, like if they were joining a live event that has already started. Sneaky, huh? Like I said before, it's all about making the whole thing look absolutely real. Alright, here on the side we can find the attendee list. At the top you can find the webinar presenter's name with this blinking broadcasting icon. And below a number of names which are supposed to be the webinar registrants. Now, you're probably wondering, so where do all these names come from? And what if only a handful of people register for my webinar? Won't that look kind of sad? Worry not, my friend. As usual, we have you covered. The attendee list. At the configuration dashboard, you can enable the attendee list advanced options. You can select to use only real names, meaning to display only the names from real people who've actually registered to your webinar. Or you can use only simulated names, and the script will pick up the names from this random name list under here. Or you can blend both real and simulated names. And here's how it works. Let's imagine that you want to stage a webinar aiming for around 100 people. However, let's assume that only 10 real people sign up for it. In this case, you can get the script to display the names for those 10 real people at the top of the attendee list, and then from the 11th position all the way to 100, the script will fill up the attendee list with simulated names. This feature is intended to guarantee the social proof factor of your webinar, in case there are fewer real attendees than you had expected. But of course, if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can always go for the real names only option. Please note that you will only need the simulated names for your first few webinars. After a while, you will have enough names from actual registered real people recorded on your webinar's database, and our system will begin grabbing those real names in order to fill the entire attendee list. By the way, you can also select the nationality of those simulated names in case you're targeting a local niche: English, Spanish, French, Arab, Asian, etc. If you're targeting an international crowd, simply go for Mix. And of course, you can also disable the attendee list altogether if you don't want it to be displayed on your webinar broadcast room at all.